Let me see some Godel requests. Can't ignore my clients. Olin, he's been asking for this for a while. Olin. Let's take a look. Hello, baby. Baby says hi. Cuckoo gaga. Can't wait. Hey, kitty, you got a baby coming. Wow.
Order cancelled.
That's crazy, I know. You're going to be nice to him. You're going to be nice to him.
Order cancelled. Order cancelled. Order cancelled.
Sorry, it's earnings season. I can't look at lots of stocks during earnings season. No doggo. I want us to get a doggo for the baby when the baby gets a little older. So he'd be happy to have the dog as a present. Doggy, puppy, yeah. Manufacturer and distributor of chemical products. Okay. First, we'll check EM. That's what I always do. Pretty cyclical company. Earnings go up and down like a yo-yo. How about revenue?
Order cancelled.
These are straight from FactSet. These are Glengarry leads. Revenue is $6 billion, then 9, then 9, then 7, then 6, then 7, then 7, then going to be 7 again next year. That's kind of jumping all over the place.
Order cancelled.
4 times cash flow? Whoa, now I'm interested. Bobby! Yeah, it's good for the kids to figure out that, you know, life does come to an end.
Order filled.
Which is it's been hard for me as an adult to figure that out, unfortunately. All right, Olin Corporation. 115 million shares outstanding. So this is kind of a small mid-cap. Well, I'd say mid-cap, 2.5 billion market value.
Order cancelled.
From 1892, Virginia Corporation. Wow, that's a rare one.
Order cancelled.
Principal office in Clayton, Missouri. Clayton Bigsby would love this one. Did you say Clayton, Missouri? Clayton, Missouri. Leading U.S. manufacturer of ammunition? Okay, well, that's not chemicals. The fuck? Chlor-alkali products. Okay, that I understand. Vinyls. That I understand. I know all about those. I know all about, you know, chlorine or alkali chlorides. Epoxy. Okay, but what's Winchester? Isn't that a gun?
Order cancelled.
Chlorine and caustic soda, ethylene dichloride, vinyl chloride monomers, methyl chloride, methylene chloride, chloroform, carbon tetrachloride, perchloroethylene, hydrochloric acid, hydrogen, bleach, potassium hydroxide. Okay, that's 55% of revenue. Epoxy sells epoxies and precursors, including aromatics like acetone and phenol, allyl chloride, epichlorohydrin, liquid epoxy resins, solid epoxy
Order
resins,
cancelled.
and formulated solutions such as converted epoxy resins and additives. That's 20% of revenue. And then we got Winchester.
Order cancelled.
Winchester is 25% of revenue. Ammunition, sporting ammunition, reloading components, small caliber military ammunition. Okay.
Order cancelled.
Produced commercially by the electrolysis of salts. 1 ton of chlorine to 1.1 tons of caustic soda, and 30, I guess, millitons of hydrogen. This is 1 electrochemical unit. Cool. They probably have a ton of debt.
Order cancelled.
Okay.
Order cancelled.
Things are too good to be true sometimes.
Order cancelled. Order cancelled.
I don't know about Palantir, man.
Order
If I knew that if they were having a good quarter or not, I'd have material non-public insider information. It's something I don't want. I don't know if they're on track to have a good quarter, bad quarter. I don't want to know. My guess is they probably had a pretty good quarter, but yeah, maybe they could sell the gun part of this and just be a chemicals company. Very low margin business, almost insanely low.
Order cancelled. Order cancelled.
Looks like peak cycle earnings were as high as 2 billion. Trough cycle earnings around 300 million. They are levered, looks like. You can just tell from the income statement. Not usually how you tell, but they got some debt. More bought some, raised a little debt, a little more licky. More traded some 10-year debt, more licky. Or Missouri.
Order cancelled.
It's in Missouri. She's saying what you said, yeah, 10-year term debt. It's more licky. If you don't know the inside joke on this one, it's a character named Mumbles. Mumbles likes to mumble. I'll show you Mumbles in a minute. This is the interesting part of this analysis. Okay, so they're losing money on epoxy in Troth.
Order cancelled.
Winchester is actually quite stable, normal business. Chloralkali's, profitable even at Troth.
Order cancelled.
Shut up, kitty. Yeah, we don't take care of the environment very well. We just, it's more like it. Shut up, kitty.
Order cancelled.
What? Are you little nipples? You want the red light? Put on the red light.
Cancelled.
Nipples. Put on the red light. Roxanne. I'm gonna put on the red light. That's the laser pointer.
Order cancelled.
AI?
Order filled.
You have an AI that can input this information for me? Listen, dude. I will pay you $1 million. Can input this information for me? Listen, dude. I will pay you $1 million cash if you can give me an AI that will take arbitrary financial information
Order cancelled.
and organize it perfectly into the way I want it. $1 million cash, since you know how to do it. There's this one thing though. If I'm right, well, you're gonna have to do something for me. Let's just put it that way. And you're not gonna like it. Hey, yo. It's this little trick I learned in prison. Trust me, it takes some getting used to, but you're gonna like it. JK. All right, so what's up, Soul? EV is 5.3 billion. No, he doesn't know how to do it. Nobody knows how to do that. If anybody knows how to do that, that's me. I am the GOAT of financial statements, financial programming, and AI. Stop it. I'm the man. They just don't know how to do it, man. They could do everything else. So data entry is not the skill of AI. I've tried everything. I've tried it all. Good luck, Nito. It's not easy. I've chunked. It's not easy. I've chunked. I've used advanced models. I've used regex. To get it exactly what you want, it's not easy. Well, they've seen AI do something useful for them in a different capacity, and they figure it's got to be, a way to do it. It's a reasonable, assumption, but it is wrong. I got a lot of code that I can show you. It wasn't really optimized to do data entry. Data entry is tough for AI. Well, you want to make it into, so let's say you want to turn it into a CSV, which is very reasonable. AI takes a lot of liberties, so if you don't explain exactly what you want, like column order or something like that, what you end up doing is, one approach I've done is between chunking. Yeah, Liam, I don't think it's gonna work. Oh yeah, no, I mean I have a 50-step process to try to get it to do it. It still doesn't work. You have a chunker, a sanitizer, a reorderer. I mean, you could break it down into tons of steps. It still will miss it. It'll still miss something. It's brutal. I mean, I'm going to try to get it to work, but you got the prompt down. I've tried it from GCP too. It's honestly just stupid. It's so smart at lots of things, but it doesn't have the IQ of a third grader and some other things. I'm not very high on chess. Wait till you start seeing my special guests. It's got the IQ of Farcoin Baggy. Hey, Farcoin holders are getting paid. Why invest in great companies when you can have Farcoin? Farcoin, now and forever. Do you want financial independence for your family? Are you sick of working? Are you just lazy? Buy some Farcoin. All right, so peak cycle free cash flow, 1.7 billion. Trough cycle free cash flow, 300 million. Average free cash flow, maybe $1 billion?
Order cancelled.
In which case, it is 5 times free cash flow. EV to free cash flow. I think maybe real free cash flow might be a little lower.
Order cancelled.
Oh yeah, I mean adjusting costs and stuff like that is also pretty hard.
Order filled.
You know, whenever, if there's ever something that's a little nuanced, AI won't get it. And then, you know, very important is products, you know, getting the product data out of these things. And again, maybe that's something you chunk even further. So what ends up happening is you're chunking these systems into hundreds of steps and you're just making them really fragile. Because then you have to stitch them together with either AI or conventional programming or both. And you have to run checks on them again. And then with the merge step is also not great. So it's just a mess, man. Trust me. But again, if you could do it, you got a free job, you know, working for me all day. I'll pay you a nice salary. You can do that. You passed all my programming tests. Without the models getting better. Now, the models probably get better. Yeah, hopefully 1.2, hopefully. It's not so much about context window, because the context window is the context windows are large for all of them. Chunking is so that it doesn't lose attention. The attention, any big multi-step reasoning is not done very well when it comes to
Order cancelled. Order filled. Order cancelled.
Hopefully soon, Green Thumb. Hopefully soon. I don't know, Lexar. Marsol, are you? What? Maybe. I can put you to work.
Order filled.
Yeah, not literal attention. Computational attention. But yeah, literal attention too. Screw it. I don't know. I've been trying to do this for years. Since the day OpenAI started fielding API. Literally the day. So
Order cancelled. Order cancelled. Order cancelled.
they were hella unprofitable in 2020. Yeah, I shorted more today. It's pretty painful, but I know we'll get paid someday. All our apes are gone.
Order filled. Order filled. Order cancelled.
Push me to the edge. All my apes are dead.
Order filled. Order cancelled.
No, I'm not doing my theta decay strategy anymore. It was too. No, I'm not doing my theta decay strategy anymore. It was too toxic. I don't want that much leverage. This is Trashy's favorite song because she loves that red light from the laser pointer. Portfolio that's all red.
Order cancelled.
Like that. So. They were actually free cash flow positive even in this terrible year.
Order cancelled. All channels. Order cancelled.
Well, I kind of took that strategy to an extreme. And I kind of want to still do it, but I just got lots of other things to do right now. And just having a degen portfolio was the goal before, but it honestly was like not good for my mental health. It's just like too much fucking craziness. I don't know how you guys do it. You don't even adjust for non-recurring. Talking all day to you guys gets my voice all fucked. I knew this. I knew these guys that sang in a hardcore band. Hardcore is just screaming, basically. And they used, they have to tour screaming and belting all night, and sounds something like this. So if you can call that music, which I do, it's not easy to do that every day. So they use this thing called throat coat. Pause. I want to see this entirety. I used to love this band. They're very good guitarists. What is this tuning? This guy looks like security, but he's the singer. I was going to take drum lessons from this drummer. He's actually not a terrible singer for his craziness of the music. That was me 10 or 20 years ago. I have pictures. Look at this guy. No, I don't think JB. I think J&J does not have the tri-specific. Do you think the tri-specific would work? Like work better than Darzalex? I am short RXRX, Alejandro. I've seen Dillinger. They're okay. It's like math rock. Math rock with, freaking 7-8 time signatures, stuff like that. Pretty hard to listen to, honestly. I mean, it's art in some ways, but even the most obscure and strange art like this, it has to be listenable to some extent if it's music. So you can see that there's like catchy parts sometimes of these like musical parts. And this dangerous tuning. Kind of an open tuning, the Deftones tune from a Deftones song. So yeah, I mean, I think like with math rock, you've got like the music just doesn't make sense, and then of course if you go the other direction, you go all the way to like a Blink 182, and it's pop music. So which way do you want to go?
Order cancelled. Order cancelled.
I don't even know this tuning, man.
Welcome to Stanford and welcome to View from the Top.
Order cancelled.
So, first of all, I was with the CEO of Sequoia, and we think that there might be a branding problem here. We think this should be the view from the climb.
I will bring that back to Roloff. He was here in your seats a couple of months ago. So
Yes.
we're really lucky to have you, and
You can decide that at the end of this hour.
I've personally been inspired by your entrepreneurial journey, as have many of my classmates. And we're impressed at your achievements in leading Citadel to becoming the most profitable hedge fund in history. So we have a lot to learn from you. I'd like to dive right in and bring us back to a key moment in your story. You're 19 years old in your Harvard undergrad dorm room, and you install a satellite dish on the roof in order to get real-time data to start trading convertible bonds. So what was it about the markets that clicked for you at such a young age?
Wow, so this brings back memories. I was with my son, and we were updating the Xbox. And he was about 13, this was a few years ago, and he looks at me and goes, you were alive before the internet. And in the Stone Age of the 80s, you used satellite dishes to get real-time stock quotes. There was no internet, so there was not ready access to real-time pricing. And I needed real-time pricing to engage in arbitrage strategies between common stocks and related derivatives, convertible bonds, convertible preferred securities, convertible warrants. I had a background in software engineering, passion for mathematics, and a real interest in how to use those skills in the realm of finance. Like, that was a personal interest of mine. And I think one of my friends who will leave name aside, because he's never told me I can use his story, but succinctly, the entrepreneurs of any moment in time are the people that have the skill set that is relevant to solve the problems of that moment in time. I think that's a very succinct understanding of what drives many of your great entrepreneurial success stories is having the skills that are relevant at that moment in time to solve the problem of that moment in time. I mean, what's interesting is all the work that we did in pricing derivatives in the late 80s and early 90s as I built the firm, is all taught in it's like a chapter or two today in your textbooks. It's just like in passing, let's talk about Black-Scholes, and in passing, let's talk about derivative securities. It's part of the foundation today of what's taught in finance. It's no longer on the cutting edge or revolutionary. And so that was the story at the start of my career, was a passion for finance, and an ability to use my skills in computer science, my interest in mathematics, and to solve the pricing of derivatives. Now, I never thought I'd do this for a living. I wanted to do private equity.
God forbid.
I still really haven't had a chance to do what I set out to do. It's a bit frustrating sometimes, but it's been good. It's been good.
It's been very impressive. I'd like to double down a little bit. A couple of years later, you founded Citadel in 1990 with a couple of $1 million of seed funding. So what gave you the conviction to strike out on your own at such a young age, at the age of 22? And how did you convince people to fund you?
Was it 22 or 21? I wonder about that. So I can't help myself but share the story. The group that funded me in Chicago, it was a Chicago, New York-based firm. The person in Chicago, I just had a personal fondness for. The guy in New York was like central casting Wall Street, right? He had the perfect suit, the perfect pink shirt, the perfect tie, the perfect gray hair. The guy in Chicago was like your physics teacher. All right, I need to say nothing more. And I went to Chicago to work with the partner in Chicago because I had a personal affinity for him.
What happened to Elliot?
And it was very simple. They would back me. They
What's going on with Ellie here? This is the Pfizer drug, right? Is it BCMA ADC?
seen my track record and what I'd done in college. He'd tell you the reason that they backed me was that, if you do this in college, you're pretty resourceful. We'll take a bet on this. And if the bet doesn't work, well, you go back to business school.
Oh, that Ellie
That
here.
was-
That's the old immunogen drug. So that's the AbbVie. I'm confusing with the new, maybe it's Epkinly, one of the new Pfizer drugs.
That was what his sales pitch was to me. And I haven't gone back to business school yet, but I haven't really enjoyed my journey in finance. So that's how I set out. Let me just be to the point. Like right now, most of you don't have children, you don't have a mortgage. You're at a point in your life to take risk. Like when you're in your 20s, like what's your worst case scenario? It's not that bad. If you're in your 40s and you go out to start a venture, there's more downside. And I really decided that in my 20s, I would take risk in my career. Why
I think he's given the interview many times, Monty.
not? I have nothing to lose.
So it sounds like you took a risk and it paid off, but we could have had you at the GSB if things didn't work out.
I mean, if I had gotten admitted here is another question. That's not as obvious. It's not as obvious.
I think I know the answer to that question. I'd love to hear more about some setbacks that you faced as you were scaling Citadel.
We have an hour? Okay. So,
Order cancelled.
Finance. If you pronounce it finance, I think you're a bit of a douchebag. Put on red light. Yeah, make sure you sign up for GodellTerminal.com. Who makes Arena S?
Order cancelled. Order cancelled.
All these stocks have pretty high correlation. HIMS, Palantir, the quantum companies. It's basically just different. I mean, the market views them as the same. They're obviously very different, in my opinion. GenMab's gotten into the ADC business? I'm not sure what you're asking, Daniel.
Order cancelled.
It just saves. I mean, you don't have to click save. There are on the bottom of the screen. You can actually create a new layout. Yes, we are making a plugin.
Order cancelled.
Hopefully, it'll be a little smarter than the Bloomberg one. Oh, interesting. JB sounds like you know biotech really well. This guy's smart. Yeah. I never got into CCR. My dad liked CCR a little. That's too much classic rock for me. Okay, so looking out a little bit, like these guys can kind of border on profitability. Last 6 years on average, they cash flow 770. A lot of chemical companies trade around this multiple, so I don't know if it's that exciting. I mean,
Order filled.
like this is kind of company you'd like to own, and it makes it a, that makes it an attractive long as well.
Order cancelled.
I like it. I mean, I don't know the industry that much, but I kind of like it.
Order cancelled.
Yeah, J&J kind of has some long-term issues, right? They're victim of their own success, a little like Merck.
Order cancelled.
Yeah, this is OLN, some random chemicals company. I don't know that industry,
Order
but I follow Lindy. Look, and Lindy, it's a different company, but it's a lot more fucking expensive. So the pair trade could be long OLN. As you may know, JB, I mean, I followed these stocks my whole life. The ensemble of J&J for a long time was just very strong, and before biosimilars, these companies were unstoppable. The question is, do you value PP&E here? And theoretically, you could sell your PP&E. I don't know. Kind of goes hand in hand with it's attached to your cash flow though. So.
Order cancelled.
They're not exactly the same juicy, but they're similar.
Cancelled.
They don't have forecasts, for example, which we're going to change that. We're going to make those FA models really good to the point where you can just hit export, hopefully, and have a really great model. And then maybe even have a AI analyst help you adjust them. Yeah, Lindy has a lot bigger margins, I guess.
Order cancelled. Order cancelled.